I've discovered that the moment you stop trying to control what others think of you, your entire life begins to shift into a state of peaceful power. And I want you to understand how liberating that truth is, because it has the ability to transform everything about the way you exist in this world. My dear, peace does not begin when everyone finally approves of you. Peace begins when you stop giving away your power to the opinions of others. You carry within you a magnificent source of wisdom that knows exactly what you need, what you desire, and who you are meant to become. But this wisdom can only speak to you when you turn your attention inward instead of outward. Every moment you spend obsessing over what someone else said, what someone else thinks, or what someone else is doing is a moment you steal from your own growth. If you wake up worried about how others perceive you, your energy scatters in 1,000 directions trying to please everyone except yourself. If you walk through your day focused on your own path, your own healing, your own expansion, clarity begins to emerge and strength begins to build exactly where confusion once lived. I want you to pause for a moment and reflect on this. How much of your mental energy goes toward managing the perceptions of others? How often do you change yourself, shrink yourself, or silence yourself because you are afraid of someone else's judgment? What you focus on becomes your reality. If you focus on other people's lives, other people's choices, other people's journeys, your own life remains unattended. If you focus on yourself, your growth, your peace, your dreams, your life begins to flourish in ways you never imagined possible. The mind is a spotlight, and wherever you point, that light determines what grows and what withers. So, if the mind stays focused on what they are doing, what they are saying, what they might be thinking, your own inner garden becomes neglected and dry. But if the mind gently turns its attention toward, I am growing, I am healing, I am becoming, everything within you begins to awaken and bloom. Your attention is the bridge between distraction and purpose. But the first step on that bridge always begins with the decision to reclaim your focus and give it back to yourself. I want you to think about where your thoughts go throughout each day, the conversations you replay in your mind, the comparisons you make, the scenarios you imagine about what others might think of you. Do those thoughts serve your growth, or do they drain your energy? Many of us have lived so long with people pleasing that we have accepted it as a necessary part of life. We have learned to monitor everyone else's mood before we allow ourselves to feel safe. We have learned to scan every room for approval before we allow ourselves to speak our truth. We have learned to mold ourselves into whatever shape we think will make others comfortable, even if it makes us miserable. But here is something I want you to take into your heart. Your focus is not simply a habit. It is the most powerful tool you possess for creating the life you deserve. When you obsess over what others are doing, you are planting seeds of comparison and resentment. When you pour all your energy into fixing someone else or saving someone else or worrying about someone else, you are planting seeds of depletion, and you abandon the one person who needs you most, yourself. But imagine now if you change where you direct your attention. Imagine if you told yourself, I am allowed to focus on my own well-being. I am allowed to prioritize my own peace. I am allowed to invest in my own growth without apology. Every time you choose yourself, you open a doorway. Every time you redirect your focus inward, you give your life a new foundation. When you focus on yourself, you come home to yourself, and that home is where your power lives. You are not at the mercy of other people's opinions. You are the creator of your own inner state. And if you want a peaceful life, you must first teach your mind to stop wandering into everyone else's business and stay rooted in your own sacred space. One of the most loving things you can do for yourself is to notice when your mind drifts toward judgment, comparison, or obsession with others because your focus creates your reality. The mind is always directing energy toward what you pay attention to, and the subconscious does not ask if this focus is healthy. It simply follows. If you focus outward constantly, anxiety becomes your companion. If you focus inward with compassion, peace becomes your natural state. And this is why focusing on yourself is not selfishness, it is spiritual responsibility. When you focus on your healing deepens. When you focus on your purpose becomes clearer. When you focus on your worth begins to radiate so powerfully that others feel it without you needing to prove anything. The universe does not reward those who neglect themselves to earn the approval of others. The universe responds to those who honor themselves. If you say, I hope they notice me, I hope they validate me, life reflects that need back to you as emptiness. But if you declare, I am enough as I am, I validate myself, when you root yourself in that truth, you shift the entire energy of your existence. You are no longer chasing acceptance. You are living from self-acceptance. You are no longer asking others to fill the voids within you. You are learning to fill those spaces yourself. And something beautiful happens in that moment. The people who were draining you lose their power. The opinions that once controlled you lose their grip. The need to perform, to prove, to perfect yourself for an audience finally dissolves. And you realize that the only audience that truly matters is the one looking back at you in the mirror. Now I want to invite you to take a deep breath with me, my darling. A breath that tells your nervous system it is safe to let go of control. A breath that tells your soul it is safe to turn inward. You are creating a new relationship with yourself, one rooted in self-loyalty, inner focus, and deep trust. You are dissolving the old pattern that convinced you that your value depends on what others think. You are gently releasing the fear that convinced you that focusing on yourself is wrong. Focusing on yourself is not wrong. Focusing on yourself is sacred because when you focus on yourself, you become the person you were always meant to be. You stop being a reaction to everyone else's energy and you start being a deliberate creator of your own. The mind may still try to tempt you with old distractions. What are they doing? What do they think of me? Am I good enough in their eyes? But you can respond with love. What am I doing for myself today? What do I think of me? Am I honoring my own needs? You are allowed to stop caring so much about their journey and start caring deeply about your own. You are allowed to step back from drama that does not serve you. You are allowed to protect your energy, your time, your peace from anyone who does not respect them. Because the more you focus on your own growth, the more you attract people and experiences that align with the person you are becoming. My love, have you ever noticed how light you feel when you finally stop worrying about someone else's opinion? I have watched so many people exhaust themselves trying to manage relationships that were never theirs to manage, trying to fix people who do not want to be fixed, trying to earn love from those who are incapable of giving it, all while ignoring the most important relationship of all, the relationship with themselves. When you focus on yourself, everything begins to heal. Problems that felt tangled and heavy suddenly loosen. Conflicts that consumed your thoughts lose their intensity. You begin to see that half the battles you were fighting were not even yours to fight. You begin making choices that protect your peace instead of sacrificing it. You begin saying no without guilt, and gradually, without force, without struggle, life becomes simpler. Because you have stopped making other people's chaos your responsibility. This is not coldness. This is wisdom. Focusing on yourself is not abandoning others. Focusing on yourself is refusing to abandon yourself any longer. And perhaps the most powerful way to practice this is through a simple daily ritual I am going to share with you now. Every morning when you wake up, before you check your phone, before you scroll through anyone else's life, before you give your attention to the outside world, I want you to sit quietly for just 3 minutes. Close your eyes, place one hand on your heart, and ask yourself this question: what do I need today? Not what does everyone else need from me, not what will make them happy. What do I need? Listen to the answer. Honor it. This is how you begin each day in alignment with yourself instead of in reaction to everyone else. Then, the second practice I want you to embrace is this. Each evening before you sleep, take out a journal or a piece of paper and write down 3 things you did for yourself today. They do not need to be grand gestures. I set a boundary. I rested when I needed to. I said no to something that did not feel right. I chose my peace over their approval. These are not small victories. These are evidence that you are choosing yourself. These are proof that you are breaking the pattern of self-abandonment. We spend so much of our lives counting how many people we have pleased. We forget to count how many times we have honored ourselves. This exercise shifts your focus from external validation to internal respect. And at the end of your little list, you write these words: I am proud of myself for choosing me. You can even draw a little heart next to it. This act of acknowledgement is how you end each day in self-respect. This is how you teach your brain to celebrate your own growth instead of only measuring your worth by what others think of you. Now, the third step is the one that will change your mental patterns permanently. Throughout your day, whenever you catch yourself spiraling into worry about what someone else thinks, what someone else said, what someone else is doing, I want you to catch that thought immediately. Do not let it take root. Do not give it permission to drain you. Say to that thought, stop, that is not my business. My business is me. Then gently redirect your focus. Ask yourself, what can I do for myself right now? What would serve my peace? What would honor my energy? This is not pretending. This is retraining. You are interrupting years of mental habits built on fear and people pleasing. Every time you redirect your focus back to yourself, you reclaim your power. Every time you choose your own well-being over someone else's opinion, you strengthen your foundation. And each time you say, my business is me, you build a protective boundary around your heart where peace can finally rest. You are teaching your mind to stop leaking energy into places it does not belong. You are teaching your heart to trust that your own needs matter. You are teaching your soul that it no longer has to beg for permission to take care of itself because you have become your own permission. That is the real transformation here. Let me tell you something that has changed countless lives. If you practice these 3 steps for 30 days, your nervous system will begin to relax out of hypervigilance. Your subconscious mind will begin to trust that you are safe even when you are not performing for others. The anxiety that comes from obsessing over what they think begins to dissolve like morning mist. The exhaustion that comes from trying to control their perceptions finally lifts. You become someone new. Not because the world changed, but because you changed the direction of your focus. The person who once scanned every face for approval will now walk with quiet confidence. The person who once abandoned their own needs to keep others comfortable will now set boundaries with grace. The child inside you who once believed that love required self-sacrifice will finally understand that real love begins with self-focus. You return yourself to wholeness. You come back to the truth that your life has always known. Your focus belongs to you, and you are allowed to direct it toward your own healing, your own dreams, your own peace. This practice is not about becoming selfish. It is about becoming self-full. Imagine waking up on day 30 and realizing you have not checked their social media in weeks. Imagine walking through your day and noticing you are thinking about your goals, your growth, your joy, instead of worrying about what they are thinking about you. Imagine looking in the mirror and feeling proud of the person staring back because you finally chose yourself consistently, lovingly, unapologetically. That is where this leads. That is the gift you are giving yourself steadily, devotedly. Some days will feel easier than others. Some mornings the practice will flow naturally. Some evenings you will write down 5 things you did for yourself instead of 3. Some moments you will catch 10 distracting thoughts and redirect them all back to your own center. And other days you may only catch one, but every single redirection counts. Growth is not measured in perfection. Growth is measured in commitment. And you are committed, my love. You are doing it. You are focusing on yourself. So let us take one more deep breath together. In through the nose, hold, and release slowly. Now place both hands over your chest. Feel the warmth of your own touch. Feel the life force pulsing beneath your palms. Feel your heart whispering, "Thank you for finally paying attention to me." You are building a life where your energy stays with you instead of scattering toward everyone else. You are choosing focus where there used to be distraction. You are choosing self-investment where there used to be self-neglect. You are choosing your own path where there used to be constant comparison. How magnificent, how brave, how necessary. My darling, I want you to hear this as if I am sitting right beside you, looking into your eyes with nothing but love. You are not responsible for managing everyone else's life. You are not responsible for their happiness, their healing, or their perception of you. You are not required to twist yourself into shapes that make others comfortable while you suffer in silence. Your only responsibility is to yourself, your growth, your peace, your alignment. And the moment you choose to honor that responsibility, truly honor it, life begins to open up in ways you could not have imagined. Opportunities follow self-focus. Clarity follows inner alignment. Peace follows the courageous act of turning your attention back to yourself. Life responds to where you place your energy. When you invest in yourself, life invests in you. When you protect your focus becomes a laser that cuts through confusion and reveals your true path. When you treat yourself like someone worthy of your own time and attention, the right people and the right circumstances begin to find you effortlessly. You are allowed to be devoted to your own growth. You are allowed to spend time cultivating your own inner garden instead of wandering through everyone else's yard. You are allowed to say, "This is not my concern," and walk away from drama that does not serve your highest good, because you are a miracle. There is no one else on this planet who has your exact dreams, your exact wounds, your exact blend of strength, sensitivity, creativity, and love. You are an unrepeatable soul. You belong here. You deserve to take up space. You deserve to focus on your own life with the same intensity you once gave to everyone else. And I want you to remember this the next time guilt tries to convince you that focusing on yourself is wrong. Your peace is not selfish. Your boundaries are not cruel. Your self-focus is not arrogance. It is survival. It is sanity. It is the only way you will ever become the person you were born to be. Your worth does not depend on how much you sacrifice yourself for others. It does not increase because you people please. It does not diminish because you finally said enough. Your worth is constant. It is inherent. It is yours. When you focus on yourself, doors open where walls once stood. The noise quiets. The path clears. The answers come. You start to see life not as a popularity contest, but as a sacred journey designed for your unique expansion. You stop chasing validation because validation now lives inside you. You stop fearing their judgment because your own approval becomes the foundation you stand on. You stop abandoning yourself because you finally understand that you are the only person guaranteed to be with you for your entire life. You walk boldly into the truth of who you are, and I want to bless you with this knowing. You are safe focusing on yourself. You are supported by forces that have always been guiding you home to yourself. You are allowed to let go of relationships that require you to lose yourself. Even in moments of loneliness, you are being prepared. Even in moments of doubt, you are being strengthened. Even in moments when others do not understand, you are being refined. Nothing has been wasted. Nothing has been accidental. Every time you gave your power away, you learned what it feels like to be empty. And now you know. Now you choose differently. Every experience has brought you to this moment of reclamation. You deserve a life where your focus serves you. So choose yourself, choose your peace, choose your path, because when you focus on yourself, you become the most powerful version of yourself. When you invest in yourself, the universe invests in you. This is not a fantasy, this is a promise. And every moment you bring your attention back to your own growth, your own healing, your own journey, the universe whispers yes. Take one last deep breath with me, my love. Feel your shoulders drop. Feel your jaw soften. Feel your entire being settle into the safety of your own presence. You have done such beautiful work here. You have listened. You have chosen. You have begun. This is your new beginning. And before we close, I want you to say this with me, slowly, lovingly, powerfully, as both a declaration and a sacred commitment to yourself. I choose to focus on myself again. I choose to focus on myself one more time with all the strength in your heart. I choose to focus on myself. Feel those words land in your body. Let them become your truth. You are free now, free to be you.